Back up the drive, it was shattering timbers, damaging equipment, and the other thing was it blew the rock out in two larger pieces. The miners here knew that this was part of Bendigo's golden revival, so they decided to load the trucks by hand, push the trucks by hand. Everything was done by hand except for the drilling, so they needed the rock to be blasted into a smaller piece. They devised this pattern, it's called the Bendigo drag. It would start here and it'd go boom, 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 at about that speed. And it worked fine, but occasionally it still blew out too big a piece. Not often, but it did. So they developed this pattern between the two white lines and as high as the backs. That's called a burn cut, post hole cut. Drill a hole in here 2 metres deep. There's nothing in that hole, it's just a weak spot that the explosives to work to. Around it, there's a 23-hole pattern drill that goes off opposite, diagonal, diagonal. I'll show you how it works in a sec. Type of explosives they used in the early days, early 90 detonator safety tubes. Plug them up to 2-foot holes, bunch all the fuses together, light them, and walk away. Once the holes became a bit deeper, they needed a bit more powerful explosives, so they used this thing, it's called power gel, form plastic explosive. Non-electric detonator plugged into it with a big long lead hanging out of each hole, and then fill each hole up with this stuff, AMFO, ammonium nitrate fuel oil, fertiliser and diesel mixed in the right proportions. Tip that into this thing, it's a little compressed air pump called an AMFO loader, squeeze the handle, pumps that mixture up the pot into the hole. So every hole is done like that, got all of that in. Bunch all them together with a bit of detonating cord, you attach them to that one. That's the one that doesn't like mobile phone signals. It's an electronic detonator. Unplug the wire, hook it up to our overhead firing line, and then everyone gets out of the mine. The boss puts those 2 little wires into the back of a box called an exploder, and he winds a handle. It's just a little magneto building up a store of electrical energy in that box. Presses the button, comes down through all the wiring into the explosives and boom. I'll show you how it works. There's the first 2. See how it's working its way out? Opposite, opposite, diagonal, diagonal. Centre top, 2 centre bottom, 2 outside top, 2 outside bottom. They go off, they're called the lifters. They lift it up and spread it out a bit. Now I'm going to set this off in real time. I want you to see if you can count it. I'll give you 2 chances of counting it. Don't turn your lights out, just get the flat of your hand put over your light like that.